Your grammar. Lesson 2. Modifiers. Modifiers add information to sentences. As we know, sentences are usually more than 2 words. Sometimes there are additional words which add detail or bits of information, but they still do not change the main idea. They do not change the subject-verb combination. For example, the old book on the shelf fell suddenly to the floor. When I read it, I chunked the information. Fell is the action, it is the verb. Book is the subject. It is the book which fell, not the shelf. So the subject does not need to be directly beside the verb. Now we have modifiers about the book. The indicates that it is a definite book. More about this later. It modifies book. Old gives us another detail about the book. It modifies book as well. On the shelf gives a detail or information about the book, where the book was and not where the book fell. So on the shelf gives us information about the book. It modifies the subject. Suddenly gives a detail about the action. How it fell. It fell suddenly. To the floor gives us a detail about the action, where it fell. Modifiers can be single words or phrases. Phrases are a few words working together to add a detail. Phrases are not a complete thought, so they are not a sentence. Phrases begin with a preposition. Think pre for the beginning of a phrase and position for giving us information about the detail. It could be in, on, to, so on. Phrases always end with a noun or a pronoun. Remember, a noun is a person, place, or thing. Pronouns replace the nouns. For our exercise, identify the verb with a V, the subject with an S, and identify the other words or bits of information using a line over the phrase. A plane flew overhead. The man in the kitchen cooked for 3 hours. A plane flew overhead. Flew is the action, it is the verb. Who or what flew? The plane is the subject. Any information about plane? A plane, not the plane, a plane. So it becomes a modifier of the subject. Do we have any modifiers of the verb flew? Of course. Overhead is where it flew. It gives us information about flew, about where it flew. It is a modifier of the verb. The man in the kitchen cooked for 3 hours. These words are chunked to give you a clearer indication of how they work together. The action is cooked. Who or what cooked? The man cooked. Not the kitchen, the man. The man gives us information about a specific man. In the kitchen gives us information about the man. A modifier of the verb is for 3 hours. Those words work together to give us information about cooked. When? For 3 hours. Note, phrases underlined are just one unit of detail or information about another word. Review. Sentences usually have more than 2 words. Modifiers provide details and information about the subject or the verb.
The truth of the story lies in the details. Paul Auster.